Chapter 9. The Trials of Gnosis Part 2. Yet as the applauds faded, the soul's light began to flicker, and the empty niche returned. The archons hovered in the shadows, feeding the soul with more promises of greatness, urging it to seek even more power, more influence. The soul must see through the illusion of ambition, the figure continued. It must recognize that true power comes not from ruling over others or seeking external validation, but from understanding its place within the pleroma. The archon's promises of greatness are hollow. Real authority comes from knowing the self, from Gnosis. John watched as the soul took a step back from the crowd, its light brightening as it began to recognize the futility of its ambition. Slowly, the symbols of authority faded from its form, and the applause of the crowd diminished to silence. The soul stood alone, its light now stronger, more grounded in the knowledge that its worth came not from the material world but from the divine source. But even as the soul passed through the trial of ambition, John sensed that there was one final, deeper trial it had yet to face. The vision shifted again, and this time, the soul stood alone in a vast void. The silence was absolute, and the darkness pressed in on all sides. There were no riches, no crowds, no archons, only emptiness. The third trial is the trial of fear. The figure said, its voice soft yet piercing. This is the most difficult trial for the archons, and still the deep fear in the souls. The fear of nothingness. The fear of losing the only reality they have ever known. Even when the soul sees through desire and ambition, it must face the terror of letting go of everything familiar. The archons make the souls believe that without the material world, there is nothing. John felt a deep sorrow as he watched the soul tremble in the void. Its light flickered weakly as if on the verge of extinguishing. The fear of the unknown, the fear of total isolation weighed heavily on the soul, keeping it frozen. The archons were silent now, but their influence lingered in the soul's doubt, and the deep-rooted terror that to let go of the world was to lose everything. The soul must confront the fear of nothingness. The figure continued. It must step into the void, trusting that beyond the emptiness lies the fullness of the divine. The archons have made the souls believe that to let go of the material world is to embrace annihilation. But the truth is that beyond the void lies the pleroma, the true source of all beings. John's heart ached as he watched the soul stand on the edge of the void, its light flickering. Caught between fear and faith, for a long moment it seemed as though the soul would surrender to the darkness, overwhelmed by the weight of its terror. But then slowly, the soul took a step forward. Its light brightened not with the flash of external validation, but with the quiet certainty of inner knowing. As the soul stepped into the void, the darkness around it began to dissolve. A faint light appeared in the distance, the glow of the pleroma, calling the soul home. The soul's light flared as it remembered its divine origin, the fear melting away like mist in the morning sun. John felt a surge of hope rise within him as he watched the soul embrace the light of Gnosis. It had passed through the trials of desire, ambition, and fear, and now it stood on the threshold of awakening, ready to return to the fullness of the pleroma. But John knew that not all souls would make it this far. The archon's grip was strong and the trials were relentless. Many souls would falter, unable to let go of the illusion that had bound them for so long. The path to Gnosis is not easy, the figure said, its voice tinged with both sorrow and hope. Many souls will struggle. Some will turn back, unwilling to face the trials. But those who persevere, those who pass through the trials, will find the truth waiting for them on the other side. They will remember who they are, and the light of Sophia within them will be fully awakened. John stood in silence, the weight of the truth settling into him. He had seen the trials that lay ahead for the souls, and he understood now the depth of their struggle. Yet he had also seen the power of Gnosis, the way it could pierce through even the darkest illusions, leading the soul back to the light. I will guide them, John said, his voice firm with resolve. I will help them see through the illusion, help them face the trials. The souls must remember who they are. The figure's light brightened, filling John with a deep sense of peace and purpose. You are not alone in this. John the Savior walks with you, and the light of Sophia shines within every soul. Trust in the truth, and the souls will find their way home. With those words, the figure began to fade, leaving John alone in the quiet alleyway. But now the silence felt different, not empty, but full of potential.